What is good, everybody? NFL fans, come join the live stream. We are going to be reacting to NFL content. I will let everyone join in. We're gonna have thousands and thousands of people in here tonight because this is your boy Spencer Morrison here, a die-hard NFL football fan. I've been an NFL fan for 20 years of my life. It's been a hell of a ride. Hell of a ride. You gotta love the NFL. The NFL is the best content, the best entertainment out there. It is pure chaos. It is great thing to watch. And I gotta put a W's in a shot. W's in a shot for us for us. You just gotta put it in there. We spamming W's. We spamming W's. You feel me? There's W's out here only. We taking dubs. We don't take L's, fellas. Hope you guys are having a blessed. Uh, hope you guys are having a blessed Saturday. Saturday. Um, it's gonna be a good time. We're watching Colin Cowherd, the legendary sports announcer or analyst. Nah, he's not an analyst. He's a entertainer. He is a voice of the herd. The herd with Colin Cowherd. He is a legend in that in media, sports media. I will be going to his YouTube channel. Everyone. He's an interesting guy. But I'm gonna be reacting to this video. His predictions for this coming NFL season. I believe I saw a couple teams. The Cowboys and Bills are on this video. So let's watch.
Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content.
All right.
For years, I've said Vegas gives you the sobering truth. Vegas is truth serum. They kind of have to slap the fans around and go, hey, wake up. You're not going to win the Super Bowl. There is one exception, though, this year in the NFL, where Vegas significantly likes the team more than their own fans do. That is unheard of. Fans always love their team. They're delusional. Fan short for fanatic. Vegas comes in and goes, hey, shake yourself. You're a 6-win team. The Cowboys are the exception. So here are the Cowboys Super Bowl odds. It's fascinating to me. They're in the same class as Denver, who has a quarterback that makes a nickel so they can stack the roster. Denver led the league in sacks.
Okay, he's making some interesting points. Obviously, the Cowboys are here tied 15th with the Chicago Bears. He's obviously saying he does not believe that at all. That they should be close to the Broncos. And if we're going off roster, just pure roster versus roster, yeah, you're taking the Broncos probably 9 times out of 10. But obviously, the quarterback position is the most important position in football, and I think the Cowboys has a major upgrade at that position compared to the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a good player. He's a good player, but I think the Dak Prescott is obviously on another. Not I think he is on another planet than Bo Nix. So I think that goes in. I think the Cowboys roster isn't as bad as people think it is. I think they made obviously getting Caleb Downs in the draft was absolutely big. If this guy Malachi Lawrence the edge player from UCF, I believe, if he hits, man, that's really good for them. But I think Caleb Downs can change a lot. Can change a lot on their defense. I mean, one player isn't going to change the whole outcome of things, but I think having him on your roster, on your defensive side of the ball, is a big move. It is a big move. And actually, let me, while I do that, I'm going to pull up the Cowboys depth chart here and look at their defense so I can get more of a clear picture here on who they have. Let me share that screen for you guys. so you guys can see here. I'm focusing, look at, so yeah, they picked up Quinnen Williams, obviously from last year, traded him. I mean, that guy's an absolute beast. Beast. He is an animal. The New York Jets traded him. What are the Jets doing, man? Jets fans out there, I hope you guys are making the right moves. I root for you guys. I root for the Chargers, right? All underdog franchises need to unite and go against these big dogs like the Dallas Cowboys, the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying. The Quinnen Williams, good player. Real good player, man. Pro bowler, all-pro type of guy. Otito Ogbonga. So this guy I have some inside track on because I root for the Chargers. So I know this guy. He's a 5th-round pick, I believe, out of UCLA. Athletic guy, big guy, strong. He has a good size. He has a really good athletic build to him. He's a good player. I think he wasn't used that much these past few seasons. So I think that's a good pickup for them. I think he has some upside to him. He was a pretty good, pretty decent drafted position for the positional that he is, a nose tackle. So he's a good player. Kenny Clark obviously is a legend. Oh, maybe not a legend, but he's a consistently. I mean, he's been a Pro Bowler. He's a little older, a little long in the tooth, but guy, he's 30, so he's not too old. Honestly, he's not too bad. So that D line is pretty good. And then you picked up Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary is a good player now. He is a good player, and he's only 28. He's in his prime. That's a good player now. Overshown's a good player. D. Winters, I saw him in the preseason. He played against the Chargers last year with the 49ers. I was like, this guy's really good. In that instance, I don't know how well he played during the season. He's obviously overshadowed by Fred Warner, but Fred Warner was injured, so he did play. So what was his numbers last year? He had 6-7 solo tackles, pretty good. 25 rookie.
On the front,
or not rookie, sorry, 25-year-old player, a couple years in, I believe. What was he drafted in? He was drafted in the 2023 draft, 6th-round pick, 4th season. So he's a good player. I think he's a good player. Then you got this guy. I believe he was from last year's Boise State, right? Boston College? Sorry, Boston College. This guy had a really good. I remember he had a really good college year. He had 16 and a half sacks. I mean, my God, that is pretty unreal. So he's got some talent to him, no doubt about it. And then you got this Malachi Lawrence guy who they picked in the 1st round this year. And I don't know how well he did in college. I know he was people were high on him. Some people weren't. But he has some numbers now. I mean, pretty consistent numbers in college. 6'4", 253, a little smaller, but 6'4" is nice, pretty good size. 253, that's not bad at all. Kobe Durant, Jalen Thompson, Malik Hooker, Caleb Downs, your nickel back. That's what they're saying here. Deron Bland obviously had that great year. I'm curious about this guy, Siobhan Revel. I don't know how well he did, but
on the front lines,
people were high on him. People were really high on him because he was injured. That's why he fell in the draft. So if I'm looking at this roster, man, Malik Hooker is a pretty good player. I don't know much about Jalen Thompson, to be honest. Anyways, sorry to sidetrack a little bit, but I just want to look at the roster and see what I think the Cowboys are going to be good, man. I think they could win their division, to be honest with you. I'm low-key picking the Dallas Cowboys to win the NFC East this season. I think that's my hot take. Slightly a hot take. I think because people are look at last year so much that it's a year-to-year league. Any given Sunday, any given offseason, I'd say. You know, it's a year-to-year league. Anything could happen. If you just make a little small little tweaks to the roster, getting that defense better. That's what the Cowboys need. The Cowboys need less pressure on the offense on Dak Prescott to feel like, oh, we got to do everything. You know, we got to score every drive. You know, type of feeling, and that's not good for an offense. They're gonna burn out. They're gonna burn out, and that's what happened last year. So I'm high on the Cowboys. I'm high on the Cowboys, man. I think the Cowboys could be really good. I really do. I think they made some good moves, to be quite honest with you. That's my opinion. I'm going to disagree with Colin Cowherd on this one.
They added Jalen Waddle. They have great ownership, solid GM, who isn't 83, unlike Dallas. And oh, by the way, Bo Nix was a great late-game quarterback. And yet the Cowboys and the Broncos, both about the same odds to win the Super Bowl. Think about this. It's a coach-quarterback league, and ownership matters a lot. The Cowboys have an 83-year-old owner who meddles and calls himself the GM. The head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, who I thought last year really impressed me, but he was not interviewing for coordinator jobs at the best places when the Cowboys gave him the head coach title. And oh, by the way, I respect the hell out of Dak, but he's had 2 major surgeries, 2-5 in the playoffs. And oh, by the way, they now have a first-time defensive coordinator. And they are the hardest team in the league to get my arms around because everything is telling me ownership, quarterback, head coach, coordinator really matters. Vegas likes them. Vegas has them the Chicago Bears have a brilliant offensive head coach and a superstar quarterback and a pretty damn good roster.
Well, I mean, you just talked about Colin. I have to disagree. I think I'm not high. Like I said, I'm high on the Cowboys, but like you were saying, I mean, the head coach impressed me. Brian Schottenheimer, he impressed me. I mean, I get what you're saying, where he had, he didn't have any offensive coordinator looks or anything like that. But people are going to doubt you. That happens. Sometimes the NFL is wrong. The NFL isn't always right. Other teams aren't always right. Look how many busters. Look how many the player is drafted high and they don't turn out. You know, just because some other people don't think, some other people think a thing, and it doesn't mean they're always right. Schottenheimer impressed me a lot as a head coach. I liked him a lot. I think he did well for what he. I mean, pretty much. I didn't really know much about him. He was a Seahawks offensive coordinator. I didn't think much of him, you know. But I think he really impressed me throughout the season. I mean, they had a really bad defense, man. They had a really bad defense, and he's an offensive guy. And so they have a new defensive coordinator that hasn't called plays. I don't know much about him. Christian Parker is the defensive. Okay, Christian Parker becomes the youngest. He's the youngest coordinator in team history. Okay. I don't know much about him, but I mean, if you're the youngest coordinator ever, you got to have something special to you now. He's got to have something special to him now, you know, if they're going to hire a guy that young. So we'll see. I mean, sometimes first-year play callers do really well. It's not a impossible thing. You know, that's my thing.
Jacksonville, number 1 pick at quarterback, 13 wins last year. Liam Cohen is a stud as an offensive head coach. And Dallas is in that territory. I don't even know where to go. I have a really strong – there's only a couple of teams in the NFL. Like, I think the Commanders are interesting. I'm not quite sure what to make of Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn and the owner and the GM. There's some weird vibes. It's D.C. It's a political town to begin with. Their football's been political. I don't know what's going on. I just want to watch and figure it out. I like the Dallas talent.
I would have to agree with him on this one. I'm a little concerned about Commanders, their head coach specifically. I mean, to go from the NFC Championship game to the next year being that bad, they did lose Jaden Daniels to injury, so that, you know what? That could be a big part. I mean, it is a big part It was a big part. But their defense was horrific. And that's on him. He's a defensive guy. He's a defensive head coach. So that falls on you as a defensive guy. They did up their talent. They signed a lot of players. Odafe Owe, they drafted Sonny Styles, so I think he's gonna be a really good player. But he's a rookie. So we'll see how he turns out. But yeah, I don't know much about that. I don't know. I'm a little lukewarm with the Commanders because when you spend a lot of money in free agency, it doesn't mean it always goes that way you would think.
I've said before, you give me their top 10 players, they're good. Tight end, wide receiver, quarterback, offensive line's young and emerging. I like Dallas. But it is interesting. A recent fan study last year, this is so rare. Vegas thinks they got a shot to win the Super Bowl. A recent fan study in Dallas. They got pretty good fans, and a lot of them. Less than 5% of Dallas fans think they can win the Super Bowl. So, here's Brian Schottenheimer on the Super Bowl aspirations.
I want to win it for Dak Prescott. I want to win it for CeeDee Lamb, for Quinnen Williams, for, our players that put in so much, hard work and the sacrifice that goes into what we do. From us as a coaching staff, it's the hours, it's the mental strain of game planning. But for the players, they put their bodies on the line. And,
First off, Cowboys fans, man, where's the love for your team? Have some belief. I know you've been through a lot these past 30 seasons. So that is fair to have a lot of self-doubt. But I'm telling you guys, Cowboys fans out there, you guys have a shot with Dak. I see Dak Prescott being a champion, being a Super Bowl champion in this league. He has the ability. You have the weapons around. You have 2 number 1 receivers. You have this running back, Javonte Williams, you picked up out of nowhere. Guy looks like a Pro Bowl running back last year. Sign him to a new deal. He's back. Powerful back. You have Jake Ferguson, solid tight end, really good tight end. Cowboys fans, I'm telling you, believe. You guys have a shot. This guy right here, he could lead you to the promised land. He could.
I make no, qualms that that's the goal. The Super Bowl next year is February 14th, 2027.
Be a perfect Valentine's Day.
Yes. In SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, and we plan on being there.
I don't know. Vegas is like, hey, you got a shot. You in Denver and Jacksonville, Chicago, all the same. It's like, I don't know. I think I look at Denver's roster. It was good before Jalen Waddle. I don't know. Live in Chicago, it's the Herd. I was thinking about this because there's in a couple of days, there's at the Chicago Theater, there's a baseball podcast, Lovable Reunion, part of the Volume. They're having a live show. It's sold out. They're great guys. Great. Very, very rare in American sports. I mean, incredibly rare. Is that in the history of American sports, we've only really loved one loser. Now, the Cubs are no longer losers. Tom Ricketts bought the team, World Series, Theo Epstein. Now it's a very formidable revenue-producing organization. But for years, the Cubs were like that buddy that's kind of a loser, but he's so nice and has a big heart that Joe was inviting him to parties. I mean, it was Wrigley Field, it was beers, it was Chicago dogs, it was day games, it was Harry Carey. They were awful, but it was like, everybody loved the Cubs. Then they win the World Series, and now they're a winning organization. But we don't like losers, and appropriately we mock. Our running back for the Buffalo Bills came out and said, man, it's a new vibe in the building with Joe Brady. And what I find so interesting about this is that, listen, it's the Bills aren't the Cubs. Like, they've had Jim Kelly, all-timer. Josh Allen, all-timer. Marv Levy was a good coach. Sean McDermott, more than quality coach. They're not poorly run or poorly owned. They've had capable GMs, B-plus coaches, A-plus quarterbacks, and yet they can't win. But it's interesting. I'm thinking about this because I was reading an article recently on the Joe Brady hiring. And I looked at all the candidates they interviewed for that job, and they had no interest hiring anybody but Joe Brady.
Really?
And so I don't think.
That's interesting. What do I think of the Joe Brady hire? I think it's really good for their offense, to keep their same, scheme, their same unity on that side of the ball. I'm just concerned from afar. Is a first-time head coach, never been a head coach anywhere else, any level, I believe. Just been an offensive coordinator, highest he's been. That with what comes with a head coach is different. You can be a great play caller, but as a head coach, it's a whole different ballgame. Now, you saw Ben Johnson's success his first year as head coach. It's possible. It can happen. And Joe Brady, he got Josh Allen. He don't got Caleb Williams now. He got Josh Allen. So from that, they're in a very unique position because that's where I think being a first-year head coach doesn't play as much of a role when you have probably the best player in the game, at the most important position. So the Bills are a fantastic team, fantastic roster. No, maybe not fantastic roster. I mean, good roster. They got the quarterback running back duo is just, it's the best in the league. With him and James Cook, that is a really good duo. And I'm high on them. I'm high on the Bills. I'll always be high on them. When they got 17 back there.
The Buffalo Bills, who have been to 4 Super Bowls, they're 0-4, had good coaches, had great quarterbacks, had capable GMs, have good ownership. I don't think it's just bad luck. And it was interesting, seeing the James Cook comment in regards to Joe,
skip some fellas.
coordinator on the market, Jesse Minter, Jeff Hafley. Everybody was talking about Jeff Hafley. Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl. They were both on the market, and they hired Joe Brady. And when I looked at who they interviewed beyond Joe Brady, it wasn't great. I liked one of them, but it wasn't great. So, we don't love losing franchises except the old Cubs, who this year are celebrating the 10-year anniversary of their World
We love the Chargers now.
Series. The Cubs are different. Harry Carey, Chicago dog, it different. Buffalo has been competently run and they can't win. But there's no such thing as...
All right, fellas. Who is winning the Super Bowl this year? Who is it? Put it in the chat below. You feel me? Who is your predictions for Super Bowl champions this season? I'm seeing a lot of people talking now. I'm talking to 0 people. Holy moly, man. It's all love, though. We love from a distance. I'm gonna attract thousands and thousands of people in this live stream one day. One day that will happen, fellas. I believe it. Colin Cowherd, legend. All right, let's keep watching.
Curses. There's not. The Joe Brady this year is going to be fascinating because he wasn't the best coach on the market. Live in Chicago, it's the Herd. My God, it's just nerve-wracking to watch.
That'd be bad, Colin, if the British decide to wake up tomorrow morning and drive on the right side of the road. In time, it might
bouts.
Yeah, circles.
Okay, so I'm in England a year ago.
So he just talks about. Okay, let's see what Albert Breer. Albert Breer's a great guy, man. You guys don't know Albert Breer.
Terrified. I'm like, I can't figure these out in America. So if they do decide, I just can't imagine what it's going to be chaos over there. So let's pivot to the NFL. So
okay.
I said this the other day.
Disorienting, by the way. That sounds very disorienting. Go ahead.
They'll start using inches and ounces. I mean, they may just they change the whole system over there. Okay. The NFL Network does a top 100, and I don't pay a ton of attention to it, but it was noticeable that Lamar Jackson dropped 67 spots. That's his peer group. And that has always been his greatest defenders. He's had executives that bail, coaches that question, analysts that are like, I don't know. Players love him. For him to drop 67 spots, that doesn't feel like it's just injuries. It feels like a little doubt in the Lamar Jackson world. What did you make of that drop? Because that's almost dropping. Well, he was down in the Bryce Young, Brock Purdy territory.
I think the methodology of the list is important, right? Like, my understanding is, and this is the way it has been, I'm not sure if it's the same this year, but they don't ask the players to rank the top 100. They ask the players to rank the top 20. And so if you're second on the list, like he was before, well, that means almost everyone's putting you in their top 20, right?
Right.
If you're 67th, that means you're in some top 20s, but probably not the majority of them. So that's how I would look at that. I don't think a lot of players would sit there if they're marking down their top 100 and put Lamar 67th. What I do think now this shows is that, like that very elite level, the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes level, there are some players that have seen him falling out of that for whatever reason it is. And I think part of it is the scheme is unique and different people look at that different ways. Part of it is the injuries, the availability thing is a big thing. And then team success plays into it as well. And when the Ravens don't make the playoffs and they fire their coach, that plays into it as well. So
I think, what he's saying is we obviously know Lamar is not the 69th best player in the National Football League. This guy is at least top 20. His MVP seasons, pretty unreal. His non-MVP seasons, or season, I guess. I think he had that one 41-4 season. That's pretty unreal. 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Didn't win MVP. I believe went to Josh Allen. That's pretty crazy. Probably should have won MVP that year as well. Yeah, he's not the 69.
I think the methodology is just an important piece of this. And again, is that there are a lot of players now that view Lamar Jackson as outside the top, that he's the 60 or 70.
Aaron Donald's story won't go away, and it won't go away because it's got legs, right? Like,
listen to me, guys. If Aaron Donald returns to the Rams, I don't think I can watch the NFL this season. I don't. I will watch it. I'm lying. I will watch it every single game. But that would just be like, what the hell, man? Aaron Donald coming back? Shit. That wouldn't be good.
Stories play out. He's not denying it. And the reason he's not denying it is because he retired early. He was still dominant. Real defense, things that he got teams.
Skip this.
Sure, you could double team him now with Myles Garrett. I think the Aaron Donald thing, he ended healthy. He ended dominant. I don't know, Albert. I kind of think it's got real legs here. Do you?
Yeah, it does.
I do. I think it's going to have to be planned out strategically. And I wonder, too, are they better off having him in September, or are they better off telling him to skip training camp and show up in November? I think that's got to be part of the equation, when you're talking about how many bullets you have left in the gun. I had a really interesting conversation with Eric Weddle about this, because Eric, it's not apples for apples, but it was the closest I could come up with. Defensive player, there was a long layoff, and now he came back, right? And so one of the things that was interesting, in the conversation I had with Eric Weddle was how badly the Rams needed him. And they brought him in initially to just play in their nickel, right? Like he was going to be a third down type player. The first week against the Cardinals in the wild card round of the playoffs, he did that. And then during the week, because they were so bare bones at safety because of all the injuries they had, Sean McVay and Raheem Morris went up to Eric Weddle and said, you can play full time this week, right? And he kind of laughed and was like, are you kidding me? And then he wound up doing it. And because he did that, in the divisional round, the championship game, the Super Bowl, he took on a beating that, like, honestly, like he said to me, some of the injuries he still feels from that short comeback. The reason I'm saying this is because the Rams really needed him in that spot. And that, I think, forced him to take on a little bit more than maybe his body was willing to endure at that point. And he got a ring out of it, and there's no regret, whatever. In this case, because of the things that you pointed out, the Rams don't need him to play 60 or 70 snaps a game.
That's right.
Because they have Kobe Turner. Because
that's a good take by Albert Beer, one of the GOATs. Eric Weddle was a starting safety. I mean, you're playing the full defensive snaps pretty much at that position. With Aaron Donald, with him coming back, he's playing the defensive line. They rotate a lot. So he doesn't have to play a full game. You can play a quarter of a game, half of a game, depending on, how much you can take. But that's a good point. Different positions play different amounts in games.
they have Braden Fisk, because they brought in Poona Ford, because they've got Myles Garrett and Byron Young on the edges, they can be very strategic about the way that they use him. And I think that's an important piece of all of this. Here's the other thing. He's so unique as a player. What a nightmare that's going to be for offenses if he's anything close to what he was before. Because imagine you're dealing with these big defensive tackles on first and second down in Kobe Turner and Braden Fisk and short, squatty build is a totally different matchup, And so for linemen to have to adjust to that on the fly, and when he comes off the bench, not knowing where they're going to line him up, they could put him on the edge, if they wanted to. It's fascinating on a lot of different levels. And again, I think they're going to have to be strategic about it, but their depth and their balance along the defensive front, I think, will enable them to do that if he does decide to play.
Hey, do we ESPN came out, surveyed execs, coaches, and scouts, put together a top 10 list. So Sam Darnold did not make it. I came out with a list. Darnold was like 6 or 7. And the reason I put him on is I always think it's impressive when somebody can go company to company to company to company and have success. In my list was Allen, Mahomes. Now I have Caleb higher than people do.
Yeah, I don't know. This list is pretty crazy. Obviously, a couple ones that are controversial, even though I'm a Chargers fan. It's Herbert, obviously, being number 5. Very controversial. Never won a playoff game. And then Caleb number 3 is absolutely absurd. What the fuck are we on? Excuse my language, but what the fuck are we on, Colin Cowherd? Are we on some sort of Chicago Bear pack? Like, are we smoking something off the Bears that are like, have you seen the movie Obsession? Was your one wish, can I be obsessed with the Bears? Like, holy shit, Colin. Number 3 for Caleb. What are you watching, my dude? What are you watching, my boy? My God. All right. Sorry, I was freezing there. I had a brain freeze. I had a brain fart. We have 0 viewers, man. Where do you at, though, man? I got love for y'all, man. I need y'all to come in here real quick. And enjoy the live stream. I'm begging you. All love to all, baby. I don't know what I'm saying. What am I saying? Yeah. Look at this list, fellas. Josh Allen, number 1. That is fair. Patrick Mahomes, number 2. That is fair. Caleb Williams. What are we on? What planet are we on? We're on Jupiter? Matthew Stafford, fair. Herbert, no. Joe Burrow, no. Higher. Sam Darnold, lower. Jared Goff, a little higher. Jordan Love, fair. Drake May, a little higher. Okay, that's my reaction to the list. Caleb Williams at 3 is an absolute war crime. I don't know why I said that. I shouldn't have said that.
But I think he's had his rush attempts and rushing yards have been declining now for 4 years. He also is in a 3 out of 5 year stretch where he's missed 4 games. He also, let's be honest, in big games in the postseason, his passer rating's below Tannehill. He's had multiple opportunities in big spots, and he has struggled. and it hasn't been because he had a bad coach or a bad O-line or a bad. So I think he's very good, but I really came down to Drake, May, and Lamar, and I think Drake's an ascending player. I think Lamar is an expensive, declining player. But let me throw this at you. I have Caleb at 3, and I got a little pushback. And I probably, and when I look at it, maybe I should have had him 4. But my takeaway is he did things against Green Bay and the Rams in the playoffs that Mahomes did in his first year that literally don't make sense for football physics. When you talk to people about Caleb and his horsepower, he throws no interceptions. He's very durable. He got rid of the sacks. Literally overnight, sacks aren't a problem. Where do executives and your sources put him? They may have been cynical. Boy, it's
Sam Darnold. I think there's some element of like, what else do I have to do? You know what I mean with Sam? Having dynamite years in Minnesota and Seattle back-to-back, now he's got a ring. So I'm with you on that. Like I think with Caleb, everybody wants to compare him to Mahomes, right? I'm not so sure his trajectory isn't more similar to Josh Allen, just based on how raw he was coming out of college and how far he had to go, just as far as taking the easy money. And I can still remember Colin, sitting down in a hotel suite in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Bills were having a joint practice with the Panthers. And I was with Brian Daboll, and he basically explained to me how he had put together a 100 play cut up of Tom Brady to show to Josh Allen. And he'd coached Brady in New England, and every single throw was an easy throw. It was a throw to the flat, a screen, a slant. And his point he made to Josh Allen was, you do so many of the spectacular things, you don't have to do all of that. And
this is like some high-level knowledge here, Mr. Albert Breer. From a guy who was a former football player. This is some high level. I'm a very prestigious football player. I played a year in high school and 6 years before that in Pop Warner. Okay, don't fuck with me, man. I think that was great for Brian Daboll to do that for Josh Allen. I mean, that's literally perfect and I think that could be great for Caleb Williams. Like, he's trying to compare the two with Josh Allen and Caleb. That's a good way to do things, because Caleb wants the highlight play. You can tell he wants the highlight play. He wants to do everything in one play. You can tell he has that from the college, because he was able to in college. But in NFL, it's much different. It's more boring, to be quite honest. A little more boring. You got to take the layup sometimes to get you those alley-oop dunks. Okay, the layups lead you to those higher plays, because that forces the defense to come up a little bit. But I think that's the next step for Caleb. And like what he did with Josh Allen, just show him Tom Brady layups. Tom Brady layup clips, just short passes, taking what the defense gives you.
It's going to serve the team better if you try to make maybe 5 spectacular plays a game instead of 15 or 20. And it was just, they had to drill it into him. Just because you can do that, you don't have to do that. And you're going to be more dangerous when you get to do the simple stuff. And that's why when JT Barrett said earlier this season, that's his quarterback's coach in Chicago, we just need him to take the easy throws. It resonated with me like you wouldn't believe, because I immediately thought of Josh Allen. And I immediately thought of, like, that was Allen's trajectory, was he could do the hard stuff. He could do the spectacular stuff, but he had to learn to take the easy money. And I think that's where Caleb is right now, is like, he did a lot of things that were very difficult last year to get the Bears where they were going. And he missed some of the easy things. So if he can combine and doing the spectacular stuff and maybe scaling back on doing the spectacular stuff so the defense doesn't know when it's coming quite as much, he becomes that much more dangerous. So I think that if you want to be optimistic about the trajectory that Caleb Williams is on, I think the Josh Allen trajectory is a better comp than the Patrick Mahomes trajectory.
All right. Do we have an update? What you're hearing on Fernando Mendoza? He's going to go under center more.
I kind of disagree with Breer on that. I'd still compare him more to Mahomes, just due to size, similar size. I think he has that magic to him. Josh Allen has not like the agility he has agility, but that wiggle that you can tell Caleb Williams and Mahomes has, I think Josh is more like straight line, just like he's just so athletic, like just with his legs. But they can. I feel like Williams and Mahomes has that more improvisation to them a little bit. I could be wrong. Leave it in the comments below. What do you think of that? Who do you think Caleb Williams compares more to? That's just my opinion.
But I'll make an argument that offensively, their offensive line, now that it's healthy, kind of interesting with Tyler Linderbaum. I think Genty behind that line will be more productive. Bowers, I think they're okay at wide receiver. It's not an empty cupboard. I tend to think this team, I feel a little bit like I do with Minnesota. They may finish fourth, but they're going to have a really good chin and they're going to be a tough out.
I think like the setup there for Fernando Mendoza is good, and that Clint Kubiak is a master at taking the burden off.
The Raiders will get better for sure.
The quarterback, right? Like that's sort of what that offense can do. And, going back to his own dad and Kyle and Mike Shanahan, quarterback playing fast.
That's not very good.
And so he has that as far as playing in it.
Raiders fans.
So I think the setup for Mendoza is ideal. The spring was really good. The relationship between Cousins and Mendoza is strong. And I think like a lot of how quickly they're willing to play Mendoza is going to come down to how quickly the other pieces of the team come together. Linderbaum is a huge acquisition because of, like, when I'm talking about Kubiak taking stuff off the quarterback, he puts a lot of that stuff on the center. So having a smart center there to anchor the line is important. They've got a really good veteran left tackle in Colton Miller, one of the best tight ends in football, in Brock Bowers. Ashton Genty takes another step. To me, so much of this is going to come down to what happens at the receiver spot. So can they develop that receiver spot to a point where, okay, Kirk Cousins can play really well here, but this offense is also ready for Mendoza. So I'm with you. I think by the end of the year, they're going to be a really tough out. They play in perhaps the most difficult division in football. So that could, affect the record some, of course, but I think it's a really, really good situation for a young quarterback so long as the receiver position comes along, and that's going to be the biggest question mark for them going into camp.
Albert Breer, Monday Morning Quarterback. Good seeing you, buddy.
All right, good to see you, Colin.
Exciting stuff. Yeah, it is. I think one of the secrets of the NFL, it's the league of hope. Like
I saw a report saying that, they don't want Fernando Mendoza to play his whole rookie season, which I think, in my opinion, especially watching the quarterback show on Netflix, sitting your quarterback out their rookie season, I think is a great move. It gives them so much more time to develop, to understand football, because it's such a big jump from college to the NFL. To be able to take just time just to focus on just developing your game as an NFL quarterback, understanding NFL defenses, things you're going to, see from week to week. I think that's great. Look at what happened. Look at what that did to Mahomes. Look at what's done to that to Aaron Rodgers, to Jordan Love, and things like that. Like, I think people underestimate how big, how hard the quarterback position is, and how big of a jump of the transition it is in college to NFL. I'm all for signing a veteran quarterback like they did and letting your rookie sit and learn from the veteran. I think that's a great move for the Raiders. I really do. That's a good move.
There's just, you can go from awful to the Super Bowl. Patriots, another illustration. The other thing is we're getting to a top 10 list, and I'm like, Lamar's 11. Luck, and Andrew Luck was spectacular. I don't have Jaden Daniels in my top 12, and he was the greatest rookie quarterback 2 years ago ever.
People don't talk about Herbert's rookie year enough. Just want to say that.
I mean, just think about that. That's how deep the quarterback space is. And when you say, Lamar's 11, well, it came down to he or Drake May. Drake May made the Super Bowl with a terrible offensive line and no number one receiver. So, and an average run game, and like one Hunter Henry, one tight end that we trusted. So it's like, I think it's just so chock full of talent at this position.
So, Colin, is it, just to clarify, is it the guys who had the best year last year, the guys who you think are going to have the best year? What does top 10 mean?
I've said it 10 times. I am projecting today forward. Like,
see, that makes a lot of sense to obviously have Caleb Williams number 3. He's projecting. I like that. That clarifies it a little more. I think they needed to put that on the monitor, on the screen of the top 10 quarterbacks, because Caleb's not the third best right now, but he definitely has the potential to be very high and 3 for sure. So that kind of clarifies it a little more for sure.
for instance, Justin Herbert has his tackles back and maybe the best offensive coordinator in the sport. It's not going to look like last year. Or Jared Goff got rid of an OC that didn't work, now has a brilliant young OC, and they solved their left tackle through the draft. This is today forward.
Okay. So
okay,
it's slightly
not
different
about
questions.
Stats.
Yeah.
That's a different question.
Yeah, slightly different, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, Stafford, healthy. He's going to be Lamar Jackson light as a Dan Quinn, the GM, Cliff Kingsbury left. I don't know what Jaden is. Coordinator. He's got a top 5 to 10 head coach. He's got good ownership, and they went and got A.J. Brown. And they drafted more draft capital used on the coach. So Drake May is going to be fine. If you told me one of these guys, here's an interesting.
Okay, fellas, Colin Cowherd's a little ranting, a little too much for my liking. I'm going to end the live stream. It's been an awesome live stream. Unfortunately, no one joined, but maybe people will enjoy, seeing this after the not watching it live, but seeing it on YouTube after. What is on YouTube? I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I'm not speaking English. Anyways, like the video, subscribe to the channel, keep the channel growing. I hope you guys have a blessed day, a blessed weekend. NFL is coming soon. It is all right in the world when that happens. And so I will end the live stream now. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see you on the next one. I'll be live streaming on a regular basis on this channel too, reacting to NFL content, giving you my opinion, my expert analysis. Thank you. Like the video, and I said that already. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.